Hey, do you think we could use a door stopper?
Door stopper. Yeah.
Hey, Knox.
What?
Do you think I should make a doorstop, or do you think you should just always hold the door open for me?
Doorstop.
What? What do you think I should make it out of?
Rock.
Oh, good answer. Thank you. Hey everyone, this is Montana Rock Mom. Thanks for coming along and watching me talk about the Maker's Challenge and what I chose to make. Now, I'm fairly new at the whole rock hounding hobby, but when it comes to making things out of rocks, I'm like brand spanking new like yesterday. So when I thought about what I would make, I had to make it, I guess, pretty beginner friendly, so that most people could make it. The first time I made one of these items, I used my tile saw. So you can use a tile saw, it is possible. It did take me a little bit longer, but now I have Drogon, my slab saw, so it's a little bit easier. But with that said, I will tell you, don't laugh. I'm making door stops, if you haven't figured that out by now. I know that probably sounds silly, but they're pretty handy around the house, and I have to start somewhere, so it's gonna be a doorstop. I hope they come out okay. I hope they look nice. We will see. You can let me know in the comments, but please come along and see what kind of mess I make. All right, so let's get started. When you're finding rocks out by the river or wherever you rock hound, you want to find a fairly good size rock, something you can visualize cutting a square out of, or a shape that you'll use for your doorstop. So if I want to do a little square here, rectangle, I want to make sure that I can envision that shape in the rock. This one will do nicely. So I'm just gonna pick a few more rocks out of my collection that I think will look nice around the house, and cut them up and see what they look like. All right, so we're gonna take this guy over to Drogon here, my rock saw, and we're just gonna start out making some rough cuts all around it. All right, so we got one side off of here, pretty flat. You can see we can stand that up pretty nicely, so let's cut the other side. All right, looks like we've got two sides now. Okay, so here is my rough square slash shape for my door stopper, and for my smaller one. And then here's my larger rock. I'm gonna try to get some kind of shape out of, we'll see. Right, let's see how Drogon did. All right, so I cut a big chunk off of this big rock. All right. All right, so we have a nice cut here. So I will continue cutting all the sides. It's gonna be pretty. This huge piece of petrified wood, I'm going to slice it off and just make a long, skinny one with a little handle on top. All right, so I think that I'm going to leave the top of this rustic, so it'll make it a little bit harder to put a handle on it, but I don't know, kind of like it rustic like that. So now I have my rustic block doorstop with the rough top on it, and I'm at the stage or the step where I can figure out where I want the handle to go. Now I have a rustic log handle that I'm going to put on here, but I don't want it to be crooked like this, so I'm gonna drill a hole into one side on the top so I can kind of get this a little bit more level. So you can see I just put a little square in there to kind of fit that side in, and just need to get it probably just a little bit deeper, but you get the idea here. So I have my finished cut pieces here that I'm going to put some epoxy on, because if you're like me at my household with a child, these really sharp edges don't do very well with the hardwood floor and the doors. So I'm gonna put a nice epoxy coat on there to kind of round out those edges and smooth it out. So I'm mixing up some epoxy here, and I'm going to probably just smooth it on with my hands. I'm gonna get some of the bubbles out here. And while these are drying or setting, I'm gonna go ahead and stick my knob in here. Sorry. Stick my knob on the top so that epoxy will harden and kind of act as a glue, and it won't be going anywhere. That epoxy should start leveling out here. So now I'm just taking some of this felt, and what I like about this is it's pretty easy peel and stick felt, and I'm going to cut it out, put it on the bottom of my doorstop so that doesn't scratch up the floor. And here they are, the finished products. What do you guys think?
They're lovely. Very shiny. Very cool. Hey.
Shiny, did you?